This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Afternoon Update for Thursday, April 23rd. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. We begin with news that one of the three men who were injured in last week's police chase in St. Peter has been charged with murder. 19-year-old Romario O'Neill Boxill is accused of killing David Miller last Thursday. Boxill, who has no fixed address, is also charged with the use of a firearm and is expected to appear in the District D Magistrates Court during the course of the day. 38-year-old Miller of Vaughan's Land, No. 1 St. Joseph, died from gunshot wounds to his upper body. Shortly after his death, police acted on a tip, which resulted in a chase in the Farley Hill area that led to the car in which Boxill was an occupant, overturning in Benny Hall. The other two men who were also in the car are still warded at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital after sustaining injuries in the accident. They are also persons of interest in an ongoing police investigation. Meantime, police have launched a formal investigation into the video showing a gun at a gravesite. The video was recorded at the funeral of the late leading seaman Adriana Sobers on Monday. As mourners covered the grave, a gun could be seen lying on the gravesite in the Westbury Cemetery. Minutes later, a Coast Guard officer picked up the weapon after he was summoned to the scene. However, it appears that two men snatched the gun away from him minutes later. Lawmen are trying to find those responsible. At the same time, the Royal Barbados Police Force says it's making steady progress into the recent robbery of a Canadian diplomat and his wife. The couple was robbed on April 7th by an armed bandit in Barclays Park, East Coast Road, St. Andrew. The bandit made off with 400 Barbados dollars, 3,000 Guyanese dollars, as well as a camera and a watch. Police say a man is now assisting with their investigations. In other news, CIBC First Caribbean has cut more than 450 positions across the region in its ongoing restructuring exercise. But Chief Executive Officer Rick Parkhill says only a small fraction of the 900-strong Barbados workforce has been affected by the changes. Speaking to media personnel yesterday, he said the process was about 70% completed and most of the workers whose positions were made redundant found work in other areas of the bank. In the meantime, Parkhill is keeping his eye on the economy, and he admits that while Barbados is not out of the woods just yet, the bank is upbeat about improvements.
There seems to be at least a modest recovery going on in most of the islands. I would say that obviously the strongest economic performance is in places like Trinidad, which has been less leveraged to the tourist cycle and tourist spend and has a more diversified economy. So I think from an expansion perspective, there's three areas that we view as having the most buoyant prospects, and those are Trinidad, Jamaica, and also the islands in the Dutch Caribbean. But we expect, if you look out a year or two, that most of the islands in the Caribbean will be experiencing a recovery, and we've identified a number of opportunities in practically every place that we operate or have a presence.
Come next month, Chafet will be making another major investment. It will be breaking ground in Leah St. Michael for the building of a massive 60,000 square feet warehouse and cold storage facility. Ryan Harloot told specially invited guests at the official reopening of the newly multi-million-dollar renovated Warrens branch this morning that the new facility forms part of the company's vision for the next 12 months.
It also helps us to control our costs in a very long term, where we don't have to have things stored all over the island and be paying rent in all these different buildings and et cetera, et cetera. And it would also allow us to better control our quality. We would have everything in one central location. I know banks holdings, Ray, you can attest to that, that having everything centralized in one location is a hell of a lot easier. So that is the next project for us. It's going to allow us to focus more on our manufacturing arm.
There is a call for Barbadians, especially those of childbearing age, to begin planning for their private medical programs. It comes from historian Dr. Henderson Carter, who says while government and other social partners can do more to aid the critical sector, the future of public health is uncertain and residents must be prepared. He made the comments as he delivered a Barbados Historical and Museum Society lecture on the provision of medical services on the island last night.
We're not sure how the cost of health care will impact upon us. And as we plan for our students to get into Harrison College and Commonwealth and all sorts of things, we have to plan for health, health insurance for our children and for ourselves as well.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
FAS Entertainment presents the Digicel Reggae on the Hill, featuring Queen Africa,
Take it far away, far away.
High
I
Octane,
can see it in your eyes.
Norris Man, Luciano, Barrington Levy, BEENIE Man, Steel Pulse, plus the best of Barbados. MCs Miss Kitty and Peter Coppin. Sunday, April 26th, Farley Hill National Park from 11 a.m. Digicel Reggae on the Hill, the climax.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
A test of character, a test of focus, a test of will, a test of resilience, a test of courage. Barbados, the test is on. West Indies, England, May 1st at the Mecca. Tickets $30, $40, $50, and $60. It's on.
You, Barbados is on.
We pick back up with news from our Caribbean neighbors, and the main opposition gets a resounding mandate from the Anguilla electorate. The Anguilla United Front won 6 of the 7 seats at stake in yesterday's general election. The incumbent Anguilla United Movement of outgoing Chief Minister Hubert Hughes did not win a seat. The 7th seat went to independent candidate Pamovan Webster, a lawyer and businessman. On the international scene now, and the White House today reported that a U.S. counter-terrorism operation in January killed 2 hostages who were being held by Al-Qaeda. Warren Weinstein, an American, and Giovanni Loporto, an Italian, died in a raid in the border region of Afghanistan and Pakistan. President Barack Obama described it as a painful loss, which he profoundly regretted. And that's our afternoon updates, but we'll be back again later. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. We're also on Channel 101, Online TV, and Mix 96.9 FM. There you can get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good afternoon.
This news update is brought to you by
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first,
Let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear?